Joe 1025, 1063, The Game. We are live today from the Omni Nashville Hotel. We're hanging out in the lobby. We're right by the Guitar Pick Bar today.
We are.
We just had our breakfast at the Kitchen Notes, and that was wonderful. And we are hanging out.
Yeah, man. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, just chill. How you doing?
Good. People waving at us, coming
Yeah,
by.
how you doing? Good to see you.
We got the Alohas. They give us the
yeah.
hang loose
I like that.
from Hawaii. Yeah.
Hawaii?
No running, sir. Thank you for running in the lobby. He stopped running. Oh, man. It's all good, buddy. It's all good.
That could be a fun bit, to like Dr. Crane, bring him down here. Hi, Dr. Crane. Welcome back.
Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
Missed you.
I missed you guys as well.
Bring him down here and like have him just like in a little suit. And he's like, could you please not run?
Yeah, right?
Could you bring your voice down a little bit, sir?
And
No running around the pool.
The next day you come down here, we put a little leash around you. So get back over here.
I prefer a harness, not a leash.
Harnesses, that's better. You're right. That's better on that. We will take that. So yeah, it's a beautiful day. We had a fun night tonight. We're going to the PFFL.
No, PFL, Professional Fighters League.
Okay.
Yes, we're doing that. We had our man Jason Jackson and Thad Jean almost kill each other on our show
Twice.
a couple times.
Yes.
We got I laughed because we got a text during that. One guy was like, "This is uncomfortable. I'm turning the channel." I'm like, all right, cool.
Try being in the middle of that. That was uncomfortable too. But that's tonight, and I saw it's going to be on ESPN. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean ESPN is their deal, so I think it should be a lot of fun.
I'm watching the TV's in front of me, which is the worst thing. It's Kelly and Mark. Was this like Regis and Kathy Lee at one time, or
I guess, yeah.
Michael Strahan? And their lead story was Ed the Zebra. They just showed Ed the Zebra flying around.
What's happening with Ed? I mean, he's
Back home.
Well, I heard they're going to sell him because they realize that might be a little difficult keeping a zebra.
I've heard they got 3 zebras.
Yeah, they got a few.
That was a story down there. So Ed captivated all of us, and then we were
He
all
really
so
did.
excited that went on. All right, Chase, are you ready?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I am.
Dr. Crane, hit it.
It's the final countdown.
Yes, sir. We are officially 72 days out from the start of college football. 72 days out. And like we've done all week long, what is the greatest number 72 of all time? 615-737-1025. You can text us. You can call us. You can come see us. Whatever you want to do. But we want to hear from you the greatest number 72 of all time. Chase McCabe started off for us. The greatest number 72.
Of all, well, the first one that comes to mind that's not greatest of all time, but was pretty good with the Titans was Brad Hopkins, our former colleague, obviously. Michael Orr wore 72 with the Titans.
Did he wear 72?
Well, he couldn't wear 74.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, so he wore 72.
Okay.
All time. Wait, now you tell me if I'm off here. Is William the Refrigerator Perry number 72?
Yes, sir, he is.
Okay, I'll say him. I'll say the fridge.
All right. I'm going to go with one guy who you guys all know should be in the NFL Hall of Fame and is not, Ed Too Tall Jones.
That's a good one.
Number 7. But these are just our opinions. We want to hear from you guys. The greatest number 72. Dr. Crane, anybody come to mind?
No, nothing off the top of my brain there. I have to, give a little research. I mean, Michael Roos was 71 with the Titans. Is that right?
That is correct.
You'll get him tomorrow. My God.
I'm a big Michael Roos guy. Can't help it.
Rooster
comb injections.
What?
Hello.
You get those in your knee, and in your joints whenever it's like lubrication for your knees and joints. Yep.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
Now we do, but thank you.
The more you know.
Yeah. So the greatest number 72, and I'm sure there are others that pop up, but to me, Ed Too Tall Jones, y'all know my affinity for that man because he should be in the Hall of Fame and he's not.
All right, 615-737-1025. That is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. Already see another vote for the fridge. I just loved him. He did wrestling, did a little bit of wrestling too. I loved him in the Super Bowl Shuffle. and the fact that he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and
yes,
Walter Payton didn't is kind of weird. But
Ditka to this day says that's his greatest regret in coaching football. It's not letting Walter Payton score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And he's talked about that before, and maybe we'll have Jeff Fisher on tomorrow and talk about William Perry, because when he entered the league in 1985, man, nobody did. In 1984, 49ers beat the Bears. They ran Guy McIntyre, number 62, did that same play, and the Bears were kind of humiliated. And the next year, the Bears got William Perry, and he captivated. I mean, he captivated everybody.
Was that the first time that like a defensive end got put in at fullback?
I'm sure there were others. He's the one that we remember.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl and everything else, and he had the big gap teeth in the middle, just a lovable guy, and he was a good player too, man. And he happened to be drafted and put on the greatest single NFL team of all time in the 1985 Bears.
I remember when the Titans drafted Jeffrey Simmons in 2019. I asked Floyd, I was like, could you see them using him like the fridge? And he kind of stopped and he goes, I'm impressed you know who the fridge is. And two, I can see that. And then we've seen it a couple times. Now, it's been a decoy, but I love when they do that.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said, was Patrick Hornquist 72 with the –
not with the Predators, but he was with the Panthers and I think the Penguins.
Okay. All right. Thank you there.
Gover says, right now, Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers. I'd agree with that. Their goaltender. All-time, Ed Too Tall Jones. So he agrees with you.
So the goaltender that's really good for the Panthers were 72. That's pretty cool.
He
and they got a game tonight.
Yep, they sure do. 9006 says Zach Wingert, Nebraska, started 37 consecutive games at right tackle in his 46-game Cornhuskers career. Wingert gave up just one quarterback sack while earning first-team All Big 8 conference honors in 1992, 93, and 94.
It's a pretty good player.
Do you remember him?
I do not, but Tommy Frazier was a quarterback, and he had a lot of open holes, and so there was a guy who had to clear the way out for him. It's probably that guy right there.
5526, Dan Deerdorf.
Yeah, oh my! I meant to bring that up. That's the Great Simpsons episode when they did the Super Bowl, and it's like they did the Bud Bowl, and they said, "Here comes Dan Deerdorf." And he runs onto the field, and he's like, "Remember the Bud Light Bowl they had?"
Yeah.
But Dan Deerdorf was one that gets out there. I got one here. It says, "Thank you, Dale." John Matusak for the Oakland Raiders. 76 to 82.
Al just said that too, but he said that I have to say the Raiders.
You did it. Good job.
Yeah, there you go. My dad was an Oakland Raiders fan because of John Madden. He would never say the Raiders without going, the Raiders.
Yeah, Chris Berman made a career off of that.
Just like that.
So 72 days out, what's the greatest number 72 that you think of with all that? So I got something else for you, Chase. I'm excited about this, and I love when we go ad-lib a little bit.
Yep.
31 years ago today was the OJ murder. Ron Goldman.
Oh, wow.
And Nicole Brown Simpson.
Yeah.
31 years ago. Twitter was not around. No social media. My question to you, Chase McCabe, what event in history had you wished Twitter was around for? Because Mike Henry sent me this note. Get her, Mike. We love you. Thank you. That would have broken the internet that entire week. The Bronco chase, everything in 1994.
There's two events, not that I wish Twitter was around for, but would have absolutely broken the internet. OJ and 9/11. I mean, it wasn't around. I don't even think Facebook was around yet.
It was not.
Man, that's a good.
I mean, it could go back through history, like when Lincoln was assassinated.
Oh yeah,
I think when Kennedy was assassinated would have been one.
Kennedy would have been interesting. It's funny when you ask a question like this, it reminds you how young Twitter is. Like, because Twitter is now a part of everyday life. Mm-hmm. Like, to do what we do, you have to have an X account. You have to use it. You have to use social media.
Yeah, that's right.
It used to be an option. Now it's not. But you think about all the events that have happened in our history a majority of them, it was without it. And it's like, hey, we got through that.
Yeah, we did. You're right. Now, you could break it off in subjects like, what sporting event you wish it was around for, what breaking news event you're around for. I mean, Ed the Zebra was great for social media.
Oh, yes.
Was simply fantastic. The memes, everything that went on with it. But had that been around back in 1994, that entire week, because you think about that Friday night, man, we were all the Bronco chase. I mean, you had a gate. Was it a game 7, right? With the Rockets
Yep.
and the
I don't know if it was game 7, but
and the Knicks. So, and then you also had was it the Rangers were having their parade? They won the Stanley Cup in '94. There's all that was going on at the same time.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
there was
put
a
that
lot.
all together that goes on. What event would you have liked to see social media around for? I guess, in the modern era. I mean, we don't go back to the Revolution and Paul Revere. Can you imagine Paul Revere on Twitter?
The British are coming.
British are
The British are
coming.
coming. Hashtag British are coming.
And he stopped for a selfie.
Yeah, he takes a selfie on his horse, and you just see everybody behind him. He's like, "What's up?"
Pitchforks going on. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's a good point though, because social media is really young. Really young.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, there's something happening with a football team that I don't really understand why this is happening, but I'm worried of what it's going to do.
Uh-oh.
We will discuss that coming up next. Greg Wyshynski going to join us at 10 o'clock. Chris Sanders will join us today at 10:30. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Thursday. We're hanging out at the Omni Nashville Hotel. We're just outside Kitchen Notes. We're on the main lobby by the beautiful new Guitar Pick bar. So if you're out and about and walking through the Omni, come by and wave at us.
Say hi.
We're not in a
man.
cage,
Yeah.
so you can feed the animals, I guess. Joe's the animal.
I am. Come say hi.
Are you going to join the video stream today? Or?
I should be on there.
Okay. Well, we missed you.
I'm spinning around. My little thing's spinning around.
Your head's spinning around.
You.
Something like that. Our question of the day, what event do you wish Twitter had been around for? And also the greatest 72 of all time.
72 days out from the start of college football season, the greatest number 72 that you could come up with.
Let's see. Ed Too Tall Jones, Benny Parsons drove the 72 at one time. Zach and Franklin says JFK Marilyn Monroe relationship.
All right, you got to come with more than that, buddy. You got to tell us more than that.
That could have been there's always the rumors of.
Well, we know that, but what does 72 got to do with it?
No, that's answering the Twitter question.
Oh, okay.
This is what happens when you ask two questions at once.
I love it. I love the interaction. Well, what do you mean? I don't know how that would have.
But I mean, all the rumors.
Oh,
and
okay.
Stuff.
Okay, I get that.
Tommy says social media would have went nuts with the Zodiac, BTK, and Bundy serial killers.
Yeah, I mean, not to the degree of the OJ thing, but the Bundy thing was over like 15 years, though, man. That took a while. The BTK thing was when that was unveiled and came out and they caught him, that would have been something else, yeah. But the OJ thing, I mean, it's going to be hard to top that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting. 615-737-1025. Have you kept up with this Shamar Stewart deal? The rookie was drafted by the Bengals. That he's their first round pick. He hasn't signed his contract yet. And he was at minicamp and he talked to reporters and was kind of like, it's kind of a bunch of BS of what they're trying to do, talking about the Bengals. And so he left camp. He's left mandatory minicamp. Still has not signed his contract.
Oh, God.
But I was listening to Charles Robinson this morning. It sounds like this is more on the Bengals than it is him, because the way that the CBA reads, all this rookie money is slotted now. Like, so he's the 17th pick. It's pretty much like, hey, this is the contract. It's guaranteed. Here's what it is. Boom, boom, good to go. Apparently, the Bengals were trying to put something in there that would void the guarantee money if something happens, and that's never been done before.
Uh-oh.
And so he's like, he knows it's never been done before, and is like, hey, wait, that's not how this is going to work.
Good for him.
So
Wow.
he's standing up for himself.
Okay.
But
the Bengals are notoriously
they're
an awful organization. Awful.
They're cheap.
Very
they
cheap. I mean, through the 90s, I think they had like 4 scouts, because David Shula was the head coach, Don Shula's son, and they had no support. They had like 4 scouts, and they were awful during that time. And it seems like they got not much better than that. It goes on. I mean, players are smart now. I get it. Everything's out in the open. It's very transparent with everything. So I don't understand all that.
I don't get it either.
I never heard of this guy.
It said Stewart, the 17th pick in the draft, has yet to sign his rookie contract or participate in offseason workouts. According to a source, the dispute centers on contract language that could potentially void future guaranteed money. Throughout the workouts, Stewart has been a bystander during the drills, often standing near the defensive line. The former Texas A&M star was not present Thursday when the Bengals worked out inside Paycor Stadium. Earlier this week, Stewart said the organization is more concerned with winning arguments instead of games, adding he was, quote, 100% right in seeking contract language standard to previous Bengals draft picks. I totally agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna screw me over, man, this ain't gonna happen, and they're gonna figure it out and see you. I don't blame him. I mean, usually it's like, oh, what's going on here?
My thing is, this is what happens when you have things like this is it's going to open a can of worms, and the NFL and the NFLPA had made this very easy and spelled this out. And I know there's, like I remember Mariota took a little bit longer because there was some offset language, and I think it had to do with him surfing. Basically, the Titans were trying to put in there of like, hey, if you get hurt surfing, it's not our problem or something like that. And so, there's a little bit of that, but my thing is it's pretty cut and dry. Like it's a it's a guaranteed contract. It's a rookie deal. So just do it. Just get it done. I don't know why the Bengals are trying to circumvent this and make this more difficult.
That's because it's the Bengals. That's what they love to do every time. And they'll never get over that. I mean, I think they've got a lot of momentum going this season with Burrow and Chase, everybody on board. But
Hendrickson is still not signed. I mean, they're going to have issues on defense if they don't get out of their own way.
And chances are they won't get out of their own way.
No,
do all that.
And that's the problem.
I mean, good for him. Get out of there and don't come back till it's all taken care of.
And the sad part is, like you just said, I think the Bengals could be a team to really reckon with.
Yeah, I mean, you got Burrow. I mean, that's right there is enough to – if they get that defense ready to go, then, my God, I mean, they can be so good. They were probably the best team down the stretch last year. They were so good the last part of the season. Just the defense was terrible for them.
On the Titans side of things, they'll have their last day of mandatory minicamp today, and then they will head to break before they get going for training camp at the end of July. I love the overreaction that I read sometimes. I think most part our media has been decent about it, but I've seen a little overreaction. Man, Cam Ward's looking so good. He's looking awesome in his shorts and t-shirt and throwing to Calvin Ridley.
We talk about this every year.
I know.
He was 18 of 20 in training camp. I mean, it doesn't. If you tweet out that he went 7 of 27, you got the reaction on the other side of like, oh my God, it's not going to. And I love the guy who puts that out there. I understand what he's doing. I get it. But at the same time, I've been to enough training camps and nobody really cares about all that. And camp, for the most part, is, we manufacture stories that come out.
Sure.
They go on, and it's kind of like, oh, God. So you just never know.
He had more of an up and down day on Wednesday after going 20 of 21 on Tuesday. That's fine.
Yay!
Apparently Levis looked meh. So there you go.
Oh, there we go. That's the one. Yeah, that happens. I don't know. I mean, again, we've seen enough of this every single year.
Can I tell you how much I love Jim Wyatt?
Yeah.
So he has his training or mini camp observations, right, on the Titans website. So the first part is another practice, another day when Cam Ward's every snap was followed closely. Says all this stuff, goes through it and everything. At the end of it, it goes, "Thanks for reading, Jared, since you didn't make it out today."
Oh, no.
That's awesome.
Plays right into his hand.
Yep. So there you go. Van Jefferson kind of had an interesting day. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's mini camp.
It is. I mean, I go back to the mid 2000s when Paul Williams was the greatest receiver ever to step on the field. He beat everybody. You remember Paul Williams?
I do remember Paul Williams, but yeah,
I
see your
3
point.
years in the practice squad, never did anything. Brandon Jones, he's the answer. He's great. 1 or 2 good years, all that. Let's stop with the nonsense from training camp. I know we have to talk about it. I understand that, but stop. Crown him if you crown him. Just stop doing all this stuff. Joel Falani, remember him?
Vaguely.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Vince Young called him Strawberry because he dyed his hair, and he's like, "You look like a strawberry." I mean, that's how I remember Joel Falani. He was like, "This guy's the next terrible."
Okay, you want to do? Well, this is funny. Most obscure Titans that you remember, because I bet you the text line will blow up for something like this. Paul Williams is a good one.
Joel Falani. I mean, Chris Henry's obscure because I know he was there for a year or two, but he was a terrible draft choice and a terrible player.
The late, great Jesse Mahalona.
I told you, Jim Washburn made him cry at practice.
Yep.
made him, and I was like 2 rows behind him on the charter plane when he passed out on the jet. They had to give him IV. Yeah, he passed away. That's right. It made him cry on the practice field. Washburn said he would never amount to anything, and he cried. That's the only time I've ever seen a professional athlete cry on the field.
And he was pretty good at Tennessee.
He was really good at Tennessee.
So when he had just signed, I think, with the Titans out of Tennessee, and I walk into my friend's living room, one of my friends from high school, and her older sister had gone to Tennessee at the same time as him. He's standing in their living room. I'm like, "You're Jesse Mahalona. What's up?" They were, friends.
Massive dude.
Oh, he was huge.
Massive dude. Really good. Who's the one guy? Oh, I'm sorry. I defaulted to a Tennessee player. He also passed away. Remember under Dooley? I'm sorry to take this on the off ramp here. The guy that ended up going to Alabama, Dooley had this thing, you can't transfer within 500 miles of the school. He was was it Douglas? Last name Douglas?
I don't remember.
And then I think he passed away too. I think his dad might have been a legacy player at Tennessee. I don't know why. He was up there with Mahalona at the time. That's why it rang a bell with me.
Randy Moss gets one.
Randy Moss. God, that was so crazy in 2010. That was just really, really like, what are you doing here? There's got to be. I mean, there's a few. I rack my brain and go from like Perry Phoenix. He got in the fight over the heated seat.
Oh, yeah.
With the other, Deron Jenkins. That was it. And that's when the franchise was really, really bad when all that was going on.
I don't know if he was – I wouldn't call him obscure because he actually had a few good years, but I always liked Lance Schulters, the safety.
Yeah. Loved to run that mouth.
He did.
I just remember when he got carjacked.
Oh, I remember that too.
Got carjacked wherever he was. That's when we got carjacked. Sean Green.
Yeah, Sean Green was
got in a fight with the meter maid in Franklin because they were going to tow his car, ticket his car.
Yeah. Jason Fisk.
Yeah. Jason Fisk was good, though.
Yeah, he was good.
He beat Favre half to death in a game here in 2001. I won't forget that. That was really good. Gennaro DiNapoli.
Yes.
Center.
That was a good one.
Wasn't really good.
Justin Hartwig ended up going on to the Steelers.
Won
2 Super Bowls.
Might have won 2 Super Bowls up there. Yeah, had a nice little career with the Steelers.
Yep, he was one. I don't know. It's just kind of a fun exercise to think through.
It is.
Mike Otto.
There
was one. Mike Eccles. When there were Mike Eccles. Yep.
I feel like there's one out there that
Donnie
was
Nicky
so
was good.
Carl Pickens.
Pickens, Vinny Fuller. He was good though.
Who's the guy?
AJ Trapasso.
AJ Trapasso, the punter. Who was the guy? John Simon that dropped the kickoff in the AFC Championship game versus the Raiders.
Yep, John Simon.
And why they did not have Derek Mason back there doing that, I will never know.
I think Derek Mason wonders that too.
I think he was doing punt team, but Simon fumbled the kickoff.
Yep.
And the Raiders get the ball back, and Rich Gannon went down. And they scored like almost immediately.
Yep. 615-737-1025. We're hanging out at the Omni Nashville Hotel today, which of course is a proud sponsor of the Chase and Big Joe show. Dr. Crane is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Tune in to 94.9 The Fan today as the Nashville Sounds take on Norfolk. Pre-game going to get underway at 10:50. The first pitch at 11:05. I believe our man Max Hers is still on the call in Norfolk. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at theGameNashville.com. Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan is presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. I don't know why I did that.
I knew exactly why you did that. Hello, everybody. All right, so you talk about the Bengals guy getting stiffed on his contract, right? Which is just ridiculous stuff that goes on there. So I pulled up what are the 5 worst contracts in each sport, right? So the National Football League will start first. Number 5, Orlando Brown Jr. for the Bengals has a 4-year, $64 million contract. I don't know enough about that, but if you made the list, obviously it's pretty bad. Number 4, the worst contract in the NFL, Dak Prescott.
I was about to ask if he was on this list.
4 years, so he's making $60 million a year?
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. Dak's a good quarterback.
Right. I get it.
He's not a $60 million a year quarterback.
I get it,
He's
man.
a good, and then you got Mahomes that's making, like Mahomes has a very team-friendly contract, and we knew it when he signed it, but, you know, he's got 3 rings now.
He's a friendly guy, buddy.
He is a friendly guy.
Number 3, the worst contract in the National Football League is Christian Wilkins. 5 years, $110 million plays for the Raiders. He said he was drafted by the Dolphins in the first round in 2019, and he's with the Raiders now since 2024. Evidently, he's terrible. Number 2, Kirk Cousins. 4 years, $180 million contract.
Yep.
So Kirk's making $45 million to ride the pine. That's something.
Yeah.
The number one worst.
I think he'll probably end up starting the season somewhere else.
Number one worst contract, still current, worst contract ever is.
Still current. I don't know. When you say it, I'll know.
His brother owns the Predators.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million contract.
So dumb.
And I'm all about capitalism. That's fine. You
Yeah.
get the money you want, but that's just ridiculous.
It was dumb. It was a dumb contract.
In Major League Baseball, the worst contract is Anthony Rendon from the Angels.
Anthony Rendon, yes.
Rendon. Is he terrible?
I mean, he was injured. He's still injured for majority of his contract, and I think he's played like a total of like 35 games in his like 6-year deal or something like that.
7-year, $245 million deal. All right, Dr. Crane, Steven Strasburg still playing?
I don't believe so. I think he hung up the cleats.
I actually thought he retired.
Yeah, I think he did 2 years ago.
7-year, I guess they're still paying on it.
Yeah.
7-year, $245 million contract.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
he's
just kind of like that Mets player from back in the day, Bobby Bonilla. Yeah.
Coming up
July
July 1st. Chris Bryant for the Rockies, 7-year, $170 million.
Oh, yeah. Former Cub. I saw him play with the Tennessee Smokies.
Did you?
Yep.
Xander Bogaerts,
Yeah.
11-year, $280 million. And these baseball contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah.
Then Javi Baez.
The NFL is the only league that doesn't fully guarantee contracts.
And they're smart not to do that. Javi Baez, 6-year, $140 million for the Tigers. All right, hockey. Number 5, Darnell Nurse, plays for the
Islanders.
I'm sorry, Edmonton.
Edmonton, yeah.
Seth Jones, 8 years, $76 million.
I think that's going to turn out to be okay, though, now that he was with Florida. Chicago was such a terrible fit, but I think Florida's a good fit.
Sean Coutier.
Okay.
With the Flyers. Elias Peterson.
Vancouver. Pedersen.
Yep. 8-year, $92 million. The worst contract in hockey, Calgary, Jonathan Huberdeau. Is that how he says his name?
No, it's Huberdeau.
Huberdeau. 8-year, $84 million. Is he terrible?
He's not terrible, but probably not worth that contract. I am so glad that a Predators contract wasn't on that.
Right? Not yet. Saros, terrible.
Could be.
Can they get out of that thing, or has he already signed it?
No, I mean, it kicks in July 1st.
Oh, what a terrible contract. NBA.
Duchesne could have been on there. I mean, because they bought that out. And then Matt Duchene's gone to Dallas and has tore it up. So
what's the guy that you said he's wearing gold that was terrible for the Predators?
Oh, Kyle Turris.
Kyle Turris is wearing gold
Yep.
with that contract. NBA Bradley Beal has.
I need to actually find Dr. Crane. I'm going to send you something because when I did the Game Center update for that, that was a memorable moment. I'll have to find that. We'll play it.
What was memorable about it?
You'll see. When we
Okay.
play it. I'm going to find it and send it to him.
Kyle Turris wearing gold.
Uh,
Worst NBA contract, Bradley Beal, 3-year, $160 million with the Phoenix Suns.
okay.
Paul George, 4-year, $210 with the Sixers. Jaylen Brown, 5 years, $285 million with the Celtics. Those are, say, the worst contracts in sports, led by Deshaun Watson with all that. I mean, that contract with Deshaun Watson really startled everything that went on in professional sports because everybody wanted Lamar Jackson. He came, it's like, you got that? I want that. It really upset a lot of things that were going on. And so that's why people are so mad at the Browns and Haslam for doing that completely stupid contract.
Wes in Clarksville asked, what about L'Jarius Sneed? Worst contract right now for the Titans. I would say so.
Isn't he getting 21? I mean, I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah, but I mean, he may not even be able to play.
But they knew
and he can't stay healthy.
He was injured when they knew that. Stop signing injured players. We get that on that promo.
Do you think that Mike Borgonzi walked in and said, hey, I just want to get this out there real quick. I am sorry for fleecing you guys with L'Jarius. That was my really bad Boston accent. But L'Jarius Sneed, like, sorry about that. You know, we had an idea that we wanted to get rid of him.
Oh, my God. You know, when they did that, they were like, oh, good job, Rand. See ya. Thanks for everything. And so, you know, Borgonzi probably walked back in there and says, you know what? This is karma. This is karma. You know, I hoodwinked the Titans. Now I work for the Titans with this stupid contract. But they knew he had a knee injury. Stop doing this. Stop all that.
There it is. All right. We'll continue from the Omni Nashville Hotel. Coming up next, we're out here in the lobby hanging out. Joe is going to start
mixing
loading luggage and mixing drinks for people. He's a jack of all trades. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. One of the most creative minds in music passed away yesterday at the age of 82. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Of course, was with them for a long time. Kind of quit touring pretty early in his career, but was a great producer. The album Pet Sounds, I thought, was game-changing when it came to music. And just hate to see that. I know he had been battling some health issues for a while, but saw that news yesterday and immediately turned on that song. Actually, it's probably my favorite Beach Boys song.
Yeah, I mean, what an iconic life. I mean, that's a whole quest for another day. I mean, are the Beach Boys the greatest American band of all time?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, you throw the Eagles in there. You throw Aerosmith in there. Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know of the Eagles.
Yeah.
You did that to me one time.
I know, but that's a subjective to get into the
okay. Yeah. They're called Eagles.
Into the subject. Yes.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I know people might laugh at this. Lynyrd Skynyrd's probably up there.
I totally
They're probably
agree.
more up there than maybe
top
they're
five
giving credit for.
Yeah, sure they are. When I go Beach Boys, Eagles, Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, I threw Aerosmith in there, but hell, they had a 30, 40-year career that went on.
Yeah. You're just saying American bands.
Because you start throwing in English bands, you get clobbered.
Yeah. No, that's a really Van Halen.
Pretty good. I mean, we love Van Halen, but that's different for us.
Van Halen. I think what makes Van Halen the most impressive is they kind of did it twice.
Yeah, right.
Like they're kind of two different bands in one. Because a lot of times when you change lead singers, you're done.
You are done.
But
they just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't
Journey,
necessarily got better, but bigger and bigger. Had Steve Perry stay with Journey, they'd have been up there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they got better. They just they got equally as good.
I think Eagles, number one. Yeah. Beach Boys, right underneath them. Skynyrd. Somebody said Allman Brothers yesterday.
That's a good one.
That stick with them.
Our friend Caroline Fenton just texted me and said NSYNC.
I'd go to NSYNC all day.
Hey,
what were we watching?
I mean, yeah, you're right. The New Kids.
The New Kids on the Block were on TV, and I was like, oh, yeah.
That's good. So real quick, I just referenced this when we were talking about Kyle Turris. One of my most memorable moments in radio was we do the Game Center updates. Mm-hmm. We did them live. I would do them going into the show, and I was producing 3D at the time, so it was Darren, Willie, and D-Mace. And Dr. Crane has not heard this. I told him not to listen to it.
Okay,
just play it.
All right,
I'll tell you when to stop. But go ahead.
Hi, I'm Chase McCabe. The Nashville Predators made a big splash in the National Hockey League by acquiring center Kyle Turris as a part of a 3-team trade with the Ottawa Senators and Colorado Avalanche on Sunday night. In return, the Avs acquired defenseman Samuel Gerard Ford, Vladislav Kamenev, and a second-round pick from the Preds. Plus, they got more picks and prospects from the Senators. It's live radio. Matt Duchesne, who had been rumored to the Preds, also heads to Ottawa. Here's GM David Poyle.
Right, you weren't wrong.
Franchise started 20 years.
How have I never heard that?
That's gold.
The best was I'm trying to pull out of this.
She said.
And I just look, and Darren's giving me this look of, what did you just say?
Dr. Crane, you got to shorten that to 3 seconds, please.
I can do that.
I would have lost it because we all make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard that. I'll be damned. That becomes drop number 1 on the board. But you weren't wrong, though.
Matt, it's live radio.
Yeah, right. So you weren't wrong in your assessment of your updates.
I remember playing that for Pete Weber, and he goes, well, they kind of are.
Right. Oh, that's great.
We had fun with that. I think I even let David Poyle hear that. He laughed.
I'm impressed about you pronouncing all the names correctly, because I would have not pronounced
that was the part, because I was trying to make sure I had all the names correctly, and then I say,
Dr. Crane, one more time real quick, please. This is gold.
Hi, I'm Chase McCabe. The Nashville Predators made a big splash in the National Hockey League by acquiring center Kyle Turris
really
as a
into it,
part of a
too.
three-team trade with the Ottawa Senators and Colorado Avalanche on Sunday night. In return, the Avs acquired defensemen Samuel Girard, Ford, Vladislav Kamenev, and a second-round pick from the Preds. Plus, they got more picks and prospects from the Senators.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Matt Duchene, who had been
You've had
rumored to
those
the Preds,
moments.
also heads
That's
to Ottawa.
fabulous.
David Poyle.
That's fabulous.
You've had those moments where like you do something like that, and you just there's no, like the train's off the track.
Yeah.
Like it's
More pricks. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so wonderful. We need to keep that.
I keep that one. I keep that one. Don't worry.
Real quick off of that, we're talking about what event would you hope Twitter had been around for in history? We got a number one. Dana texted in the night Princess Diana died.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Because we were all that. You know what's funny about that? That was the night before the Tennessee Oilers played the Raiders at Liberty Bowl in Memphis, August 30th of 1997. We were up all because it happened 6 hours ahead of us. Mm-hmm. So we got word about 7 o'clock in Nashville.
I remember watching the funeral.
We were up all night.
Yeah, my mom was devastated.
Everybody was.
Like, I didn't understand it. I was 10 years old, and I've never really gotten into the whole royal family thing. But my mom, like so many other people, absolutely adored her. Yeah. And like, when they split, everybody was Team Diana and, screw Prince Charles and all that stuff.
Very little. But remember, there were no details coming through. It was CNN was running the same loop over. And I was up all night long. I had to leave at 5 a.m. to go to Memphis to cover that game. And we were just wanting more and more and more. Twitter would have been a valuable resource at that time.
And I just remember too, like, because, she wasn't a princess at that point in time. Like, they had divorced. And I just remember the queen basically was like, she gets everything. She gets all the treatment that she would get.
Oh, it took a while. Have you not seen the documentary on that? The queen wouldn't come out. And finally, because of public backlash,
she did.
She came out and had to address the nation, I think, on that Thursday before the funeral on that Saturday because she hated her.
Did she? I thought she had
hated her. And this was so not protocol because she was no longer with the royal family. But the people loved her. I mean, it was so like your mom was so beloved, and they had to get that funeral. And then Elton sang "Candle in the Wind."
Yep, I remember the shot of William and Harry, I guess, by her casket, and I think it was William does the salute. And they were young too when that happened. So that's a good one. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll get into Stanley Cup Final. Greg Wyshynski going to join us on the program as he always does. That's next. Chasing Big Joe live at the Omni, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
It's live radio.
Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Thursday, live at the Omni Nashville Hotel. We're just outside Kitchen Notes. We're in the main lobby. And it is coming up tonight, game number 4 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. And we say hello to our man Greg Wyshynski, senior NHL writer for ESPN, presented by Old National Bank. Get old. He is live in Sunrise, Florida. Greg, what's up?
What's up is that it's been a long 2 days for a lot of thirsty writers here in Fort Lauderdale as we prepared to go from game 3 to game 4 of the series. But you know what? Couple upper body injuries, but I think we'll be all right for tonight.
Yeah, I know how it goes on these trips when all the NHL media gets together. I've been right in the middle of that, and yes, sometimes you're going to have upper body injuries come out of those gatherings. That is
but you know what? It's good though. Like I feel like these extra days kind of reset the series a little bit. Obviously, like what happened in Game 3 was pretty palpable in favor of the Panthers, and I think the Oilers have kind of put in the time the last couple of days to try to get their heads straight. You know, they had an optional skate yesterday here at the practice facility, and I don't think there was anything optional about it. McDavid skated, Draisaitl skated. It looks like they had 18 guys out there with them. So I think they've done what they can to try to flush what happened in Game 3 out of their minds as best as possible and give us a clean slate for Game 4.
So when I was watching that in Game 3, my question to myself was, is Florida a team you can afford to have a mulligan against? Because that's what it was for Edmonton. And last year I would have told you no. This year I'm leaning no. But I'm curious to see what the bounce back looks like for Edmonton, because that was a pretty bad showing, and Florida is a team you just can't do that against.
It's true, and so I think the interesting thing for me about tonight is how many of the things that are sort of trending away from the Oilers continue. Because here's the thing, like we were all talking about the brutality and the physicality and the penalty minutes and everything else, but Stuart Skinner was bad in Game 3, and McDavid and Draisaitl didn't have a point in Game 3, and Draisaitl didn't have a shot attempt in Game 3, and their depth is getting outplayed in a pretty severe way right now by Florida. So there's a lot of things that are kind of like trending away from Edmonton in this series that maybe got obscured by all the water, sport, and fireworks of Game 3, and I'm curious to see if some of those can turn around in Game 4, because if they don't, then this is going to be a quick series.
If Florida ends up winning this series, is the narrative for Edmonton going to be they got this great team, they got obviously elite forwards, they got some pretty good defensemen, but they don't have goaltending, and you have to have goaltending to win the Stanley Cup, even though we have seen examples in recent years where you really don't. But is that going to be the narrative if they can't pull this off? Because Florida obviously has it with Bob.
I think so, and I would be shocked if that isn't the first place that they try to address in the offseason if things don't go right for them in this series. I think they'll also talk about how critical the loss of Zach Hyman was, their top-line winger.
Yeah.
Their coach Chris Malblock was talking about it yesterday. By not having him in the lineup, it severely impacts their ability to put McDavid and Draisaitl together in that nuclear option. You know what I mean? So, like, the depth of this team is taking a hit at the wrong time. But here's the other part of it, boys, that like we can't forget about. Like this might just be Bills Chiefs. Like they're just going up against a team that seems built to beat them. They're not intimidated by McDavid and Draisaitl. They continue to play hard every game. They bring it physically. They can hang offensively with Edmonton. They defend well. Like they're just kind of a perfect playoff organism right now. And maybe it wouldn't be a time to kind of overreact outside of fixing the goaltending if you're Edmonton, because you're just playing a team that seems to have your number if it keeps going the way that it's going.
Greg, I love it when stats collide with each other. You talk about when the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Finals started 1-1, the winner of Game 3 holds a record of 23-7, about 70% of that. But the Oilers have won their past 3 series when trailing 2-1. So I like when they come together, these stats all come together, numbers come together. Needless to say, tonight is such a crucial game on both sides if they want to win the Stanley Cup. And I'm talking about the Oilers.
Yeah, and not only that, but like apparently Stuart Skinner's numbers in Game 4 are ridiculous for the Oilers, which is something I didn't know until my friends in Edmonton told me about it. So I mean, there's a lot of reasons to believe that they can bounce back tonight. and they've shown resiliency before in the playoffs. They lost the first 2 games to Los Angeles in the first round and rallied to win that series. So they've shown they can maybe take a punch, but we'll see what happens. I would say on the other side of the equation, the Panthers have struggled sometimes in putting opponents away. Like they let the Hurricanes off the canvas. They let the Maple Leafs off the canvas. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they've developed a little bit more of a killer instinct in this situation.
Let me ask you about continuity. I think the NBA does a terrible job of the finals because they'll play a day and they'll take 4 days off. What if NHL, the Stanley Cup final, did that? Because I think hockey players and I think hockey fans, Greg, like that momentum. A day off, play a game, a day off, play a game. I know you got a travel day. But what would happen if the NHL adopted what the NBA is doing, which is terrible?
Well, first, I think my wife would have you killed. She would hire an assassin, and you would be dead. You would no longer be breathing. I mean, this finals had some games built into it, or days off built into it. Like I said, like we were off Tuesday and Wednesday this week, which is a decent gap. It's a kind of a weirdly scheduled final in the sense that we only have 1 day to get back to Edmonton for game 5 on Saturday, which is you'd figure there'd be a couple more extra days built in travel-wise. I don't know. I think when it comes to this time of the year, the bigger question schedule-wise for the NHL is, should we really be playing a sport on a sheet of ice in the middle of June? And it's a debate that we have every year. Would there be more attention on this series, on these playoffs, if we started them earlier, started the season earlier, and weren't competing with, theme parks and vacations and beaches and things of that nature? Because your mind's not on hockey. It's just how it is. And so that's really the scheduling debate versus anything else, is like, should we even be playing at this point in the month?
Greg Wyshynski is here with us. Earlier in the show, we kind of did an exercise. Joe read a list of the worst contracts in sports, and one of them for hockey was Seth Jones' 8-year deal that he had signed. And I said, it looked bad at the time. I think Chicago was a bad fit. Now I look at him with Florida, and granted, it's only been half a season, and we're now seeing a Stanley Cup final. But I think that might be the best fit for him. Could you see that changing and that contract actually being decent for him in a Paul Maurice system?
Yeah, although I'll caveat it. So since he's been here, he's been great, and I think he's been probably their best defenseman in the playoffs so far. He's paired with a guy named Niko Mikkola. He's like a 6 foot something or other Finnish guy. They call him the Condor because of his wingspan, and they've just meshed really well together. They're just one of those pairings that just seems to have incredible chemistry, and they've been their best defensive pairing in the playoffs. But that's because it's their second pairing. Like they have Forsling and Ekblad on the top pairing, and I think Seth as a second pairing defenseman is his ideal role. He's kind of in his like Ryan McDonough years, for lack of a better comparison, versus being Roman Josi, right? So the problem is that Ekblad's a free agent, and so if he leaves, I think they have no choice but to elevate Seth to the top pairing, and then you run right back into the problem that you've had, which is this guy a 1 or is he a 2? And I think he's a 2, and we'll see what happens if he's elevated to being a 1 next year.
All right, Greg, everything on the table. How does it play out tonight? How do you think it plays out tonight?
Well, my feelings are apparently the feelings of most of the writers, from what I gather, which is Panthers win tonight, Edmonton extends it on Saturday, and then this thing wraps up in 6, which was my prediction before the series. It's a weird night. It could be one where Edmonton just comes out with so much fight that it becomes overwhelming, and then we're probably going 7. But I think the matchups that the Panthers are able to get at home, I mean, McDavid's numbers in this building are quite poor. I think they're going to be all right, and I think that we go back to Edmonton with the chance to see someone skate the cup, but probably not, because, as we said, that would send us home earlier than we expected.
I have a good friend I grew up with. Him and his wife are season ticket holders. They live down in Fort Lauderdale. He says I'm like, how is it down there? Because I'm curious, all that's going on. He says people are caught up in what the Panthers are doing. I'm like, I thought that was really cool to hear him say that. Like, a lot of people are involved and concerned and like this hockey team, and more than it's like, oh, it's just a team down in Florida. Do you feel that kind of excitement down there or no?
I'll tell you. So I'm standing across from a brand new team store that they built last year. And it has got it's got a bunch of stuff that's very Floridian coded for the fans. It's got like, you know, Hawaiian shirts with Panthers logos on them and lawn signs and stuff for your boat. And to me, this has always been indicative of how this fan base has grown. The people love this team now, and they're invested in this team. They like the personality. They like the way they play. And I think that this 3-year run to the final has done more for Florida Panthers hockey fandom than the previous like 3 decades did. And I covered this team back in the day where if you had a valid Florida's driver's license, you'd get a ticket for free. That's it. You just have to show them a license and you'd get a free ticket. And to think about where they are now, where, you know, somebody said it, I think Kachuk might have said it the other day, where this might be the most popular team in South Florida. I don't think he's that far off. I mean, the amount of attention this team gets, the amount of real passionate fandom that surrounds this particular group of players is blows me away as someone who's seen the darker days of the franchise.
Speaking of, you know, watching a fan base grow, and, you know, because I can remember watching a game against the Predators going, man, they got a lot of people in there. And then I looked again and the seats were red, and that's what I was seeing, you know. And what's going to happen in Atlanta? They obviously passed a big hurdle last night with a vote on an arena and all of that, you know, just outside the city. Are they really about to get a third bite at this apple?
They absolutely are. They very much are. It's going to be them. It's going to be Houston. And the NHL is convinced that by putting the arena where they're expected to put it outside of Atlanta, that they're going to get it right this time. They think the demographics have changed dramatically in the state since the Thrashers were there. They think that I think they like the new building where it is, and they're going to take another kick at the can to see if they can get a team to work in Atlanta. I mean, I'm as skeptical as you guys are, but they are really, really bullish on it working this time.
3 times. It just blows my mind to get 3 times through that. Greg, before we let you go, Chase and I were talking about this. 31 years ago today was the OJ murder of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman.
Oh, wow.
What event in history do you wish Twitter was around for that comes to mind?
Wow, that's a really good question. Oh, man. Was Twitter around for the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing?
No. That was 2004. Okay. Yeah.
That's the first one that comes to mind. I know YouTube was, because that was one of the first big YouTube hits, was that video.
Yeah.
Where like you could, if you didn't tape the game, you couldn't find the footage. So then YouTube became like the place you'd go for it. So that would be the one for me. I think that would be the one that jumps to mind. I'm sure there's other historical, you know, like the founding of America or whatever, but like from a pop culture perspective, that's the one that comes to mind.
Well, can you imagine in hockey if it had been around for the Gretzky trade?
Ooh.
Oh my God. Can you imagine in hockey if it was around for the Colorado-Detroit rivalry?
Oh yeah. Oh.
You know what I mean? That blood feud. Like there's a lot of hockey-centric ones that can certainly fit the bill for what you're looking for.
That is a good one. Greg, enjoy the game tonight. Hey, nurse up. Good luck. Stay away from Elliot Friedman because he's going to be a bad influence on you when it comes to post-game media stuff. But have fun, and we'll talk to you next week.
Will do, boys. Thanks.
Greg Wyshynski joining us from ESPN, and of course, he is presented by Old National Bank. Get old. That good one there. We'll reset our question coming up next.
I got something new college football related that we usually do in December.
Oh,
we're going to do now college football, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to blow your mind.
Cannot wait for that. It's Chase and Big Joe. We're live today at the Omni Nashville Hotel, of course, proud sponsor of the Chase and Big Joe show here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Hey, join the Chase and Big Joe show tomorrow, broadcasting live from Maple Street Biscuit Company, located at 2407 8th Avenue South in Nashville. Of course, our show runs 9 to 11. You can get free crispy tots with the purchase of any of their delicious biscuit sandwiches, and also sign up for your chance to win tickets to an upcoming Nashville Sounds game. We're looking forward to being there tomorrow. Relatively new client on with us, and excited to be out about and go to Maple Street Biscuit Company, and I think we might even have a special guest come join us as well. So
watch it now.
Looking forward to that. It's going to be great.
All right, so the 2025-26 bowl calendar has been set. And Dr. Crane, you can partake in this. I'm going to tell you the title of a bowl game, Chase and Dr. Crane. You tell me what city it's being played in. Because we got some bowl games which are just wow. All right, where is the Cricket Celebration Bowl being played? On December 13th. It's the first bowl.
New Orleans.
Seattle, Washington.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
The 1545 Salute to Veterans Bowl on December the 16th.
Annapolis, Maryland.
Houston, Texas.
Montgomery, Alabama.
All right.
The Staff DNA Cure Bowl. On December 17th.
Houston.
Vanderbilt Lab Center.
Dr. Crane. Orlando,
Oklahoma.
Florida.
Orlando. Okay.
The 68 Ventures Bowl.
Tampa.
New York.
Mobile, Alabama.
Uh.
The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. You should get this one. There's a word in there that gives it away.
Gasparilla.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Tempe.
I believe this would be Tampa Bay, Florida.
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa.
There is no
Okay.
Tampa Bay. It's Tampa.
Excuse me.
Remember that. Tampa Bay is the Buccaneers, not the
Shut up.
I'm telling you, be correct. I'm just telling you.
Don't be that guy.
I've realized Joe is an English person for sure.
I'm just telling. Do you want to be correct or
Yes.
do you want to be not correct?
I would like to be correct. You
I
are
want
correct.
you to take your microphone and do that. Thank you.
It's gone limp on me.
It needs a pill.
That's what she said.
Yeah, thank you very much. I set you two up for that. The Scooters Coffee Bowl.
Scooter's Coffee Bowl. I don't know. Tempe, Arizona.
I've had some good coffee in the Midwest. I'm gonna go Oklahoma or
Oh, it's
Nebraska.
What last bowl game was played in Oklahoma, Nebraska?
Nebraska. How about that? We'll go Nebraska.
Hey, how about that? Frisco, Texas. The Game Above Sports Bowl on December 26th. MTSU played in this bowl at one time.
New Orleans.
San Diego.
Detroit, Michigan. How about the Rate Bowl on December 26th?
Used to be the guaranteed rate.
That's
bowl.
right. There's so many bowl games.
I think that's Tampa because they have like a bunch of them.
I'm gonna go Orlando.
Phoenix, Arizona.
There's my Arizona.
They get rid of the guarantee. Is there not a lot of guarantees anymore?
No,
I guess
just
not.
a rate. You don't get guaranteed anything.
The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. MTSU play. No, they didn't. My bad.
First Responders Bowl. Boston.
Yeah, I think this one's played in a baseball stadium. I'm gonna go New York, Yankee
That's
Stadium.
Dallas, Texas.
All right, Dallas. There you go.
The Bad Boy Mowers Bowl.
Orlando.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Bronx, New York.
Oh, is that the Pinstripe Bowl?
Pinstripe Bowl. Yeah, I left it out. Where's the Wasabi Bowl being played?
Boston.
Wasabi. Let's go Chicago.
Ichiro. Boston. Chaser got it.
That's
Good job.
Fenway.
The best bowl game there is out there. Where's the Pop Tarts Bowl being played?
Oh, where is the Pop Tart Bowl? San Diego?
I believe that's Charlotte. Is that correct?
Oh, Charlotte. It is Charlotte. Yeah, he's right.
It's Orlando,
All
Florida.
right, it's Orlando. Okay.
Oh, they
I'll
moved
tell-
it.
No, it's always been Orlando.
I
Last
thought it
3
was
years.
Charlotte.
Remember when they lowered that Pop-Tart in
I
that
know.
giant toaster last year? Was the best thing ever. We're not done. We got real quick here. People are weighing in. The Kinder's Texas Bowl.
Houston.
Amarillo.
Houston, Texas. Radiance Technologies Bowl. These are great.
San Antonio.
Houston.
Shreveport. The ReliaQuest Bowl.
San Antonio. I'm gonna keep
Orlando,
saying-
Florida.
Tampa. The Tony the Tiger Bowl.
Mobile.
Virginia. West Virginia.
El Paso. There are so many bowl games, and now they have sponsors. Just create the SRS Distribution Bowl.
I think that's the New Orleans Bowl.
Yeah, it's got to be near a port city. I'm going to go New York.
That's Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas.
It's
Girls.
not a port city.
Where's the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl? This is a bowl game that MTSU played in.
DC.
Hawaii?
Oh wait, no. TCU. Fort Worth.
Attaboy, Chaser.
Because I've been to that bowl game.
Who'd you see? California and
It was Cal and Air Force.
Cal
It
and Air
was,
Force.
Jared Goff's last college game. He threw like 6 touchdowns.
how was that temperature that day?
It wasn't bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was actually nice.
The Direct TV Holiday Bowl.
That's San Diego. Petco.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well.
You can't copy him.
Okay. How about Los
Yes,
Angeles?
you can.
There you go. That's all the bowl games, and it ends
Thank
with
God.
the Cultural Playoff National Championship game is at the Orange Bowl, January 19th. I thought it was later. Oh, next year it goes later than that. So
Joe
this year it's
Dubin's
January
backyard.
the 19th.
I'm just waiting for a few years from now. It's going to be the Morgan Wallens Transperfect Music City Bowl.
I mean, why would you not? If you got money, pop down $1 million. I mean, you and
If
you're
you-
the only
if-
game on.
If you won Powerball and had stupid money, or as some people refer to it, FU money, you got your place in Key West that we know that you
Thank
would
you.
do. Would you not pay like a few million just put your name on a game?
That's how much I win Powerball.
Over 100 million.
No, I wouldn't waste. No, I'm not wasting my time on a bowl game.
$1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion. Yeah, sure. I would do that. But if I was a business, I would sponsor a NASCAR team.
Oh, I would
100%.
I would buy a NASCAR Craftsman truck team. I would get in line with one of the big cup teams to be a development team to get their development drivers. So I know I'd get good drivers and I'd get sponsorship. So I would do that. I might dabble and run a few Daytona 500s in the Cup Series. Might dabble and run some Xfinity, but I would mainly be a truck team. And I would buy either a AA or AAA baseball team.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where would you buy the baseball team?
I don't know. I mean, somewhere down here. I'm Chattanooga. Might buy the Lookouts.
Give me Pensacola, Myrtle Beach. I need to be in the beach.
Myrtle Beach Pelicans.
But I would own a Cape Cod team. Have spent
Yeah.
been like May, June, July, and Cape
Yeah.
Cod.
Be cool.
Otherwise, I'll just hang out in Donaldson. That's where I am currently. But
You know what I would do for you? I would buy Mike Organ for you.
would you really?
I would just call him up. and
Could
be
I
like,
just
hey,
smack him every day? Would that be okay to do
whatever.
that? I would I just remember this thing years ago about how much you talk about a NASCAR driver. It was Jimmy Johnson. Was he Lowe's?
Yeah,
It
48.
said something around $40 million they got back from all the mentions and the talk and everything, and they had spent like $18 million on it. I mean, it was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's not like that as much anymore, but yeah, I mean, that's how it was. I mean, that was back when each driver had one sponsor, and that was it. Now each driver has like
Like
4 or
if you
5.
mentioned to me Good Wrench, like Joe, when I say Good Wrench, what comes to
Dale
mind?
Earnhardt.
All right, I'm done. Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
And what's the one when Waltrip drove for what AutoZone? What was his big one?
Tide.
Tide's
he had
one.
the Tide ride. He had Budweiser. He had Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Western Auto.
Western
That's what you're
Auto.
thinking of. When
That's
when
it.
He started his own team.
Yes.
He left Hendrick, started his own team. He had the Western Auto.
Western Auto.
Chevrolet. 17.
It works, man.
Yes, it does. 615-737-1025. Chasing Big Joe. We're live today here at the Omni Nashville Hotel. You can weigh in on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Nashville's best deal this week, Staley's Chicago Italian Dining. One of Nashville's best kept secrets and winners of numerous Best of awards. Enjoy authentic Italian beef sandwiches, Vienna Chicago dogs, and the best gyros south of Chicago. Get half off a $20 gift card now while supplies last at thegamenashville.com/deals.
She was gonna be my wife, and I was gonna be her man.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel. I know the Titans getting ready to hit the field for their final day of mandatory minicamp. Brian Callahan talked just a few minutes ago saying, quote, heavy emphasis on development with the young guys, not only on the field but off the field in the weight room as well. I know Bo Hardigree, the quarterback coach, has been talking and obviously talking a lot about Cam Ward. Now, I know how you feel about hearing the offensive coordinator talk. Are you cool with the quarterback coach?
Yeah, he's more hands-on. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I just want to make sure.
Thank you. Appreciate you asking me.
Our own Parker Kelly tweeting, Hardigree says he's really noticed how Cam Ward has been able to mirror his lower body to match the route concepts being run in practice.
Okay.
What? He says, quote, as long as the ball is accurate and out on time, I have no problem with it. Hardigree and Ward's ability to throw from different arm slots. So we're getting into arm slots now.
And as long as he doesn't throw it to the other guy either. Again, it's all psychobabble until we see them against real competition, not your teammates.
Sure. And which will be Tampa, Atlanta. Get that coming up in training camp.
I love it.
But I mean, you got to do this stuff now. I mean, because this is, to me, where you see the guy take the jump from what he did in college and college systems and college terminology to see how quickly he can grasp what the NFL does.
Hey, X receiver's going to run a down and out, hit him.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
But there's
we make more of this than it should be.
I know.
And that's the problem.
Right. But there is different
Dumb
terminology.
it down.
There is different terminology.
Yeah, there is different, but it's not like you're going from algebra to trigonometry. You know your receiver, you know the defense, throw the ball, be accurate with it. Why do we make this so hard?
It could be like me, like when I left, I did math at FRA and then I took math at MTSU and I was like, I just did this crap. Why don't I going to do this again?
If I'm Callahan, I am coming with everything at Cam Ward. I mean, everything. Confusing him, then afterwards getting there on the chalkboard, look at things, figure things out. Just go, throw it at him.
We do have this from our Parker Kelly. The Titans players will report for training camp on July 22nd, and the first day on the field will be July 23rd.
Moving it up. Remember, he's a little bit later. Training camp used to start like early July.
Yeah. Well, because it went a lot. You had 6 preseason games.
Then you had the rookies reporting for a week. Getting there now, it's like, all right, we all start and get it together. So July 22nd, hit the ground running.
Yep. That's interesting. We've talked about pass rush and how the Titans don't really have much of one. Not only is that going to be a detriment for their defense, could that also be bad for Cam Ward not going up against, even though he's going up against his own teammates, but not seeing a legitimate pass rusher in practice?
Not at all. I
mean, but how many times do you hear about, like, Josh Allen has said it, of going up against Von Miller and some of the pass rush that they have, that actually makes him better when he goes up against competition around the league.
I mean, they can't hit him. I mean,
sure, but still, you get the looks.
Go watch Cam Ward on the drive against the Florida Gators when his offensive line just broke down on this drive. He was running for his life. That dude was perfect. Cam Ward was on the road against Florida. The defense wasn't bad for the Gators. Hostile environment, just nailing that pass on time. Look, he's a good player and all that. I just think that we'll see during the joint practices how well he does when they tee off and go after him. And then that Broncos game, man, they're going to hold back.
Yeah. Shifting gears a little bit, I just saw this. On3 is reporting that Tennessee guard Zakai Ziegler's preliminary injunction for eligibility has been denied.
Good. He's played 4 years.
I kind of think this is good for college sports.
Yes. Go. You quit hanging around like a high school that you've been graduated. Hit the road, man. You did your time. I'd say the same about Pavia.
Well, and I thought Pavia was going to lose that, and he ended up winning. I mean, look, it's good for Vanderbilt because they need that. But at the same time, it's got to end at some point.
if you disallow your junior college the 2 years or 1 year spent in JUCO, that doesn't matter. You're opening a whole new can of worms.
Wasn't his argument that the NIL rules weren't around, and so therefore he missed a possible year of
something like that? Yeah.
Which is a sticky argument.
Yeah.
but like, you know, in the eyes of, I guess, the government, they're like, well, you can't take wages away. So
right. And I think it's you play your years, go.
Yeah.
I now know why they want to stick around, because you're getting paid. I understand all that. But there's a reason you have 5 years to play 4 once you get out of high school. You have a military exemption. I think you got a religious exemption. And that should be it. Would I like to go back and play when I was 35? Hell yeah, I would love to. But that's not going to happen. It's not allowed to do that. I understand it completely.
I know. We just got a text from Byron, who's a loyal listener. And Byron, if you want me to read this on the air, just text us back and say yes. But I'll let Joe know during the break, and then we'll go to that. But I hate to hear that. Hate to hear that news. We'll come back with what day is it in celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Joe Rexroad, I hope you're listening. Your favorite Beach Boys song. Their comeback in 1980, I guess it was. 88.
With the movie Cocktail.
And then the Muppets were in this.
Or the Muppets. Way down in Kokomo.
That was good stuff right there.
Great stuff.
Before we get to what day is it and celebrity birthday, so Dr. Crane was off yesterday. And I thought he had like a Jeffrey Simmons. It was personal, something going on, what have you.
All
and then
right.
he informs us what he was actually doing. Dr. Crane, what were you doing yesterday?
I was serving pizzas, meatball sandwiches, muffaletta sandwiches. I started my own business. So, it's called Nico's Pizza and Subs, Lorenzo's Next Generation. So this is, I look at it as a passion project / some future endeavor. I mean, this is something I've been honestly thinking about for a long time now, ever since I was a kid. My grandparents, they had a restaurant back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I grew up in their kitchen, not the restaurant kitchen, but at the house, and love cooking. I just, ever since my grandfather passed away, I feel a lot closer to him. I feel a lot closer to my grandmother, my uncles, my aunts, everybody. I just feel extremely close to all of them whenever I cook. It puts a smile on my face. Getting to meet a lot of people yesterday at the event that I was at, it was a wonderful time. For it being my first event, sold everything. I literally sold out of everything. So it was an awesome, very wholesome moment.
And I'm going to tell the holy crap moment that we had earlier, because you're kind of doing this with some other people that have a business in Bellevue, correct?
No. They were there. They were another
there.
vendor.
Okay.
Yep.
They were the other vendor. When you brought them up, I was like, wait, in Bellevue? And you said, yeah, it's a Philly thing. That's where my dad's restaurant was for 15 years, or over 15 years. So that was just kind of a whoa, but very, very cool. Proud of you. And don't call out of work again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty
Yeah,
simple.
will do. I
kidding.
just didn't want to, I'm going to take a page out of Joe Dubin's book. He posted something about don't announce moves, confirm arrivals.
Attaboy.
Yep,
And
I like that.
that's kind of why I did it this way. This is probably the longest kept secret I've had. It's probably middle of December up to now. I've really kept it under wraps.
All good, man. Congratulations, and we know you're going to do great things.
Thank
With like this segment. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. And of course, it's brought to you by Jarrett Companies Inc., the backbone of Middle Tennessee's construction scene since 1997. JarrettCompaniesInc.com, above and beyond industry standards.
All right. First on this, we have Crowded Nest Awareness Day. So make sure those eggs are nice and spread out. Ghost in a Machine Day is today. And oh boy, International Kachacha Day.
What?
It's a weird C. It has that little like tail on the bottom of it. Kacha. I don't know. International Falafel Day is today. Little League Girls Baseball Day. Loving Day is today. Magic Day. National Automotive Service Professionals Day. National Career Nursing Assistants Day. Ooh, National Jerky Day. Delicious. National Peanut Butter Cookie Day. Those are also delicious. Red Rose Day. And then the last of it all, Women's Veteran Day is today. World Day Against Child Labor. And Superman Day.
Oh, okay. So a C with a tail, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a tail right underneath the C. It's like, I can pronounce it like French International Kacha Day if you want me to. I don't know.
Okay. So there's no description of what it is or what it means?
It looks like a drink, like an herbal drink.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, do that. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. This my computer's dying on me here, but watch how fast I am now. Do this. All right, first birthday, you got to get within two. Timothy Busfield. He was the brother in Field of Dreams. Ray, you got to sell this. He was also the nerd in Revenge of the Nerds with the glasses.
Yeah. He's been in a few things.
Bunch of things. He was in the West Wing for a while.
He sure was. 71.
70.
68. Dr. Crane
Good job,
knows
Dr.
his
Crane.
nerds. Up 1-0.
Locking.
Jay and Silent Bob. This is the Jason guy.
Jason Smith.
Jason Mewes.
Or Muse. Okay.
Oh, it says. Oh, Jason Mewes.
56.
62.
51. I don't know who this one is. She's talking soccer. We'll skip over that. By the way, Dr. Crane, your soccer team's terrible.
Which one?
The U.S. soccer team.
Oh, I was asked to go to that, and I declined because I knew what was going to happen.
Sports announcer Marv Albert. Yes, let me bite you. How old is Marv Albert?
82.
80.
84. There we go. So, yeah, so it's 1-1. Good job, Chaser. Let's see who else here. Drummer Bun E. Carlos of Cheap Trick. The iconic drummer with a cigarette in his mouth.
73.
75.
74. That's a push. Country singer guitar player Junior Brown. Remember he had the double neck guitar and he had the big old cowboy hat? Is good, Mike.
78.
77.
73. Singer Meredith Brooks. She had one big hit about a female dog.
Yeah.
You call it.
Yep. 54.
53.
67. Rapper Grandmaster D of Houdini. You sound like Beavis.
That was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was what I was going
Well
for.
done.
That's about it.
It's really well done.
That's what this show should be called. We get sued though,
man.
Who
Grandmaster D of Houdini.
61.
60.
63. Chase is up 2-1. Well done on that one there. Actor comedian Finesse Mitchell was on SNL. We've actually had him on the show years ago.
57.
62.
53. Blues guitar player Kenny Wayne Shepherd. And you get bonus points if you tell me who his father-in-law is. Kenny Wayne Shepherd. How old's Kenny Wayne Shepherd?
55. And I don't know who his father-in-law is.
51. And his father-in-law, did he invent the shepherd's pie?
Did not.
Okay. I don't know.
48, and his father-in-law is Mel Gibson.
Oh.
Country singer Chris Young from Murfreesboro.
Yeah. 39.
38.
He's 40. Chase up 3-1. All right, we got four sports birthdays. 3, I'm sorry. Mark Calcavecchia, former golfer.
57.
55.
65. Down the last two. Chase up 3-1. Former Brave slugger Ryan Klesko.
Oh, Klesko. What's Klesko? 56.
51.
54. Chase gets the win. One more left for S and Gigs. Former Colts tight end Dallas Clark.
Dallas Clark is 48.
46.
46 exactly.
Nice.
At the buzzer, though, Chase wins 4-3.
Peyton, how'd you feel about playing with Dallas Clark?
Man, every time I go back in the pocket, I got ass open down the field. I say, man, gonna run a go route. And he says, I'm gonna do a stop and go. I said, no, man, gonna run a go route. So I hit him in stride, and I let him send. And I saw Cooper. I said, Cooper, you said it right. I was gonna say, Papa John's was there, and I said, Papa John's, I'm gonna go Budweiser, give me $1 million. Oh, you had to do it, didn't you? That is all you.
Jarrett Companies, Inc. That is going to do it for us today from the Omni Nashville Hotel. DVD out at Hermitage Golf Course today for the NFL Alumni Golf Tournament.
As we leave every show to our guys out there, look, we know that you struggle and go through some things. We hope for 2 hours every day that we can take you out of what you're going through and make you laugh, and know that we love you, and know that your journey, sometimes difficult and rough, is your journey. It's a beautiful journey, and we need you here. And our world is so much better. I'm telling you, man, it is so much better because you are here. And know that we love you. More importantly, more than anything else, God loves you. On your cell phone, you can call or text 988. We just ask, whatever you're going through, please talk to someone. That's all we ask. Please talk to someone, and have a good day.
Absolutely. Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.